It's late at night here, and we're going to make a sponge for tomorrow afternoon. To begin with, 8 ounces of filtered tap water. I forgot my knife. But then we should add just a few ounces of starter. A little bit more than that. And this has our yeast culture in it. And to that, we're going to add 8 ounces of flour. Now for this particular application, we're going to make a bit more of a dry dough. So we can afford to be a little liberal on the flour. But after stirring this all together, the yeast will eat this overnight and grow and develop. And we'll have a dough that has a lot of yeast in it, which will be good for rising out in the woods in the cold. All right, we've let the sponge sit overnight, and you can see it's got lots of nice bubbles in it, which is a good sign. That indicates the yeast are active, and they're going to make our bread rise today. So we're going to add some more flour. Like I said last night, it's going to be kind of a dry dough, so it's easier to work with. Just add a bunch more flour, and most important thing, don't forget this, is salt, which I almost forgot. But we're just going to add some salt to this bread, and we'll mix that up, and it'll make our bread dough. All right, so you can see we've got our bread dough here. We got all the flour mixed in, and now we've got to just knead it, and this will develop the gluten and make the bread stretchy and chewy and tasty. So you don't have to watch all of this, but I'm going to do this for the next minute or so.
James, you've got the Dutch oven in the fire again?
Yep, I'm going to make bread and not burn it this time.
Take us through the plan, James.
So the plan is to preheat it on the fire to about 400.
About 400 by eye? We don't have a way to measure that.
On it. Not on it. You put your hand out.
We don't need to have a charcoal situation with your flash.
Right. You can kind of feel temperature with your hand in an oven. So it's going to be about 400 to 450, and then we'll take it off and set it on the side and just have to keep rotating it as the bread bakes.
Maybe check on it a little bit sooner.
Yeah. The problem is, if the reason you keep the lid on is you keep
You keep the heat in and steam, yeah.
Yeah, and if you take the lid off too soon, you will you won't get a good rise. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we So the second attempt, about to open it up.
Yep. It smelled burned. I think the bottom of the bread is burned.
All right.
Why don't you come over here and take a look?
It's hard to avoid, but we'll see.
It's hard to get even heat.
Ooh.
Oh, well, it's better than last
It's an
time.
interesting color. It's almost like spongy.
It is. I don't know why it's so golden brown.
It's like orange almost. Yeah. It's also not done.
No, it isn't done.
Should we look at the bottom? Could we get a some sort of a utensil?
Oh, there's like standing water.
Oh, the bottom is definitely burned though.
Can we flip it?
Oh.
I don't know how you avoid that. I think you got to keep it off the heat.
Well, we're doing this over a fire. I feel like ideally you'd have like charcoal, you know?
Yeah.
You're the bread guy, James. What do we do?
What do we do?
Do you want to cut into it to see what the situation on the inside is like, or?
Yeah, it might just be a really soft loaf. I don't know. Let's cut it open.
Oh, we're gonna cut it in half and half.
Well, because if you cut it anywhere else.
Ooh.
Here.
Be gentle on the tip of that knife.
Yeah.
Keep that straight metal.
That's real soft.
Yeah, it's almost doughy in the middle.
I think it is doughy.
You want me to just leave it? Or cut it?
Try and like tease it open a bit for us. So we
Okay.
can see what it looks like.
He's just in it for the camera, the shot.
Oh, that's not awful though.
Looks almost done.
It's getting there.
It's really made it not beautiful, but
It'll still taste fine.
So do you want to flip it over?
Ouch.
Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, I think for now I'm just going to flip it over.
All right.
And we'll let it sit there for another 5-10 minutes.
Just in there.
I would. I don't know.
Compromise. Put it on the side of the fire.
Maybe put it on the stone again.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, in the future, what I think would be good is to have large chunks of coal to sit on top of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been really inconsistent. Like, you should scooch that a little bit. Look like it might fall. Yeah. You like what? It's been on there. It's been on there rotating. It's been off the fire. It's had coals on top. It's not had coals on. We really didn't have a consistent strategy.
No, and I think the problem is to keep it warm enough without getting too warm. It's hard to get that middle ground. So I think the bottom burn.
And consistently warm.
I used my pocket bellows to bellows all the embers directly underneath it.
The what?
Wasn't able to bellow the embers.
Sure, you just dropped some snow on us.
I think, yeah, I think the key is preheating it to the right temperature, putting it in a place that's going to maintain fairly consistent heat, and then just shoveling a bunch of coals on top.
Yep.
So we're taking the bread off, and we're gonna just let it cool while we go for a walk.
Yep. And when we
Come back to warm bread and a warm fire, hopefully.
hopefully.
That's the idea.
That's a nice looking fire. We are eating the bread. More is edible than last time.
Much more.
Oh, good.
It's pretty chewy. It's pretty dense loaf.
I like that.
It was too cold to really rise much, so.
But it's good. Especially nice and warm.